Howdy, howdy, folks. Brendan here again with another solution walkthrough. I'm a full stack developer based in Brooklyn, New York, and today we are going to be building out Gameboard. So we're going to be talking heavily on DOM and specifically DOM manipulation. What does DOM stand for? It stands for Document Object Model. When you go to a website, you're loading the HTML file, and what happens? Well, behind the scenes, the browser constructs this tree of objects. And when I say tree of objects, I mean, there's div tags, there's h1 tags inside div tags, there's unordered list tags, and then there's list tags inside those list tags, and there's a div tag kind of surrounding that unordered list. So there's nested within nested div tag, or sorry, so there's nested tags within nested tags. And this kind of massive tree of objects that the index.html file represents is what is the DOM. And honestly, this is why organizing your code and making sure it's all indented is super beneficial to you. Because if you keep your code nice and tidy and indented, you can easily tell the relationship between a given element and the surrounding elements. So if you have a div tag and you have a p tag inside that, well, that means that the div tag has a child of the p tag. And from the p tag's perspective, the div tag is the parent of that p tag. So just kind of keep these concepts in the back of your mind as we tackle this project. Alrighty, so Gameboard. Gameboard is creating a scoreboard that displays NBA scores from around the league. They want the user to be able to click the More link to see the drop-down menu, to click the Share link to see the Share menu, and to click the notification bell. Step 1. Look at index.html. In the div class row more, there are two elements, an A class more button and a UL with class of more menu. When the A is clicked, we want the UL to appear. Inside the UL class more menu, there are two elements, an LI with class of share and an LI with class of share menu. When the LI with the class of share is clicked, we want the LI with the class of share menu to appear. There is a span with the class of notification element. When that element is clicked, we want the notification bell to turn yellow. All right. So when you click this more button, and how do I know it's this more button? Well, I've already looked at this project before, so I know that row more has an A tag inside of it, which is this right here, the more button. And it seems that we're going to have to add an event listener to this, which is going to reveal this more menu. And what else? There is a share. Okay, there's an element with the class of share. And when we click that, we also want to reveal this share menu. And then with this span with the class of notification element, that means that when you click this bell, we want to add a certain class to it to change its styling. Okay? So step 2, in script.js, attach a click event handler to the A tag with a class of more button element. When clicked, toggle the sibling UL with class of more menu element. All right. And notice how this file is set up differently. So normally what we're used to is we usually have a document.ready, then we call this function, and then we put things in here. So when the document is finally loaded, we can actually start calling jQuery to change things on the DOM. But that's not the case here. We're kind of using a different syntax this time, and both of these things accomplish the same thing. Now notice up here that main is a function expression, and notice how we're calling it when the document is finally ready. Well, that means that we can start putting our jQuery in this other kind of main function expression here, and they'll accomplish the same thing as the other syntax. Okay? All right, step 2. In script.js, attach a click event handler to the A class more button element. When clicked, toggle the sibling UL class with more menu element. So let's grab the element with the class of more button and add an event handler to it. We're listening for a click and call this function. When clicked, toggle the sibling UL class more menu element. Okay, so let's see how the DOM is structured here. So we're looking for a with a class of more button. A with a class of more button. Okay, A with a class of more button. And notice how these things are indented. This is great for us because they're indented exactly how we want them. We know that these two are siblings because they're on the same level. And they are nested inside this div, which is eventually nested inside that div. So A and UL here have the same parent. They are all descendants of this div. Now, this is actually a great situation to use the dot siblings method. Now remember, the dot siblings method takes in an argument of a class or an ID. So we'll be able to say, hey, I know that I'm on this A, and I want to grab the sibling, grab all of these siblings with a class of more menu, and I know that there's only one sibling with a class of more menu, aka this unordered list right here, and that's what we want to toggle. So let's go back here. All right, so I'm back here in my script.js file, and remember, we want to pass in this event, and we want to use event.currentTarget so that we only change the unordered list that's a sibling of this more button. If we didn't pass in this event and we said grab the element with the class of more menu, well, there's a bunch of them. There's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other elements with that same class. So when we click one more button, they would all change. And that's not what we want to do. So let's call siblings, and siblings takes an argument of a class or ID. And we want to change the unordered list with a class of more menu. So more menu. So find the sibling or siblings of this current element with a class of more menu. And what do we want to do? Toggle. Now remember, toggle is a method that either shows the element if it's hidden or hides the element if it's showing. So let's save that. So when I click on this more, we should now see that unordered list. And there we go. Same thing. And notice how only one of them is changing. And that's exactly what we want. All right, step 2 is done. Step 3, attach a click event handler to the LI with a class of share element. When clicked, toggle the corresponding LI with class share menu element. So when we click this share LI right here, this, once clicked, should reveal this other LI with the class of share menu. And let's look back over here at our index.html so we can see the structure of the DOM and kind of figure out what selectors that we want to use. Okay, so this is an LI, and I'm noticing that the next sibling is also an LI, and this is the perfect situation to use .next. So let's add listener to the element with the class of share on click. That's in the event. We want to say event.currentTarget, whatever element was just clicked. Grab the next sibling. And what do we want to do with it? We want to also toggle it. So toggle. Sweet. Step 3 is done. Step 4, attach a click event handler to the notification bell. When clicked, toggle the class active. Let's go back here and see how the HTML is structured. Okay, there's a div with a class of bell, span with a class of notification. And this is what we want to change. We want to change the styling of this class. So we want to add another class to this element. Notification on click. That's in that event. So we change the styling of this particular bell. Event current target toggle class active. Save that. Now notice that only one bell changed, not all of the other ones. And that's because we're using that event.currentTarget. Very nice. And that is it. We have successfully built out the game board. We touched on the DOM. Remember, it stands for Document Object Model. Now, before I sign off here, I kind of want to reiterate the importance of organizing your HTML so that you can see the structure of the DOM. Notice how everything that is within a div is kind of indented. That's how we want to always structure our index.html. It just makes it so much easier to figure out what is a sibling of what is a parent of what are children of what. It just makes it super easy when you're writing jQuery and honestly any other JavaScript library to have an extremely organized, well-indented index.html. Alrighty, folks, so I'm going to be signing off now, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye.